If you were going to predict out, how far are we away from being able to do some sort of robust benchmarking? Is this something that companies should be thinking in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? Are there too many variables at play?
Yeah, it's a huge question. I mean, absolutely there's a lot of variables in play. I don't believe there's too many. I think that answer changes by sector, it changes by region, it changes by crop, by weather events. There's all sorts of inputs into that, and it's very uneven as to where, we certainly can't talk about the agricultural sector and have any kind of really good answer to that question. Mm-hmm. But I think as a trend, what we can expect is the science is catching up to the good intentions of all this, and the economy is catching up to the good intentions of improving the environmental and social impacts of agriculture in a way that supports the long-term financial stability of the sector. And just to reflect on that, I think the economic slowdown and the increased focus on food safety that really has characterized the last 4 years was actually really good for sustainability and carbon reporting. It's allowed the methodologies, the objectives, the technologies, and even the alliances to mature in the lab rather than be pushed out in what were really some pretty crude and early beta models. But for companies, now that we see things swinging around, I think what companies in the agricultural value chain can expect, especially those ones that are selling to the large buyers, is that this is going to emerge as a real issue again: sustainability and carbon reporting. All the conversations about the early adopter advantages that we were talking about in 2007 and before that, they're relevant again because the economy is improving, customers are widening their focus beyond just price, and we kind of get to start all over again. So I really think that the companies really need to get their strategy in place, have their data systems ready, and know that it's on again.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So looking ahead to the next 2 to 3 years, what do you think is the next sort of big thing that companies in the agriculture sector or the agricultural value chain need to be aware of? What's coming sort of just around the next bend?
I think it's going to be better technology that's going to make this easier. We're really interested in looking at collaborations with some of the farm management software companies, mm-hmm. and saying, well, how much of your emissions is related to diesel and fertilizer? Well, that's probably in a lot of operations a pretty good part of your footprint. And a lot of operations already know this number. They just don't know that they know this has, that this is their footprint. So we'd like to see the technology that, really catch up, that makes it easier for at the lower end of the agricultural value chain to really extract this stuff. So I think we can expect to see that happen. And I think, and maybe this is a little hopeful and a little optimistic, but I think we're going to see better harmonization amongst the people asking the questions. I think the conversation's finally getting somewhere where people can expect that it's not going to be 14 different requests. It's going to be a core data request with maybe slight tweaks and individual modules based on who's asking. Mm-hmm. But to really benefit from either of those things that are coming down the thing, it really comes back to just start now, engage, get your data systems up, and more than anything, just have a strategy in place so that you're ready to play when this all hits. And I think it's going to hit pretty quickly.
Well, thanks. That was great. I think a lot of good insight, and I think probably a lot of this applies not just to the agriculture value chain, but for any type of production. Certainly the survey fatigue and the difficulty of dealing with dozens of different requests from all of your different buyers and customers and the different consumer rankings and all of that is something that I think everyone in the supply chain is struggling with. So great insight. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, happy to. Thanks for reaching out.